This podcast is for informational purposes only. Personal views and opinions expressed by our podcast guests are their own and not legal advice, neither health, tax, nor professional, nor official statements by their organizations. Guest views may not be those of the host. Hello, and welcome to AI or Not, the podcast where business leaders from around the globe share wisdom and insights that are needed right now to address issues and guide success in your artificial intelligence and your digital transformation journey. I am Pamela Isom. I am the podcast host for today. Our guest is Hina Gandhi. Hina, welcome to AI or Not.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and very excited to share my insights today with your audience.
I would like you to get started by giving me a little bit more information on your background, your career journey, and your trajectory, like the forward thinking, the forward leaning aspect.
Sure. Yeah, so I am a software engineering technical leader with nearly a decade of experience in the field. So I started working as an intern with a startup, and then I gradually got the full-time opportunity there, and then I became a senior engineer within 4 years since I joined as an intern, and gradually now I am a technical leader working in big tech. And over the years, I have witnessed multiple technology shifts from cloud computing and serverless to microservices, DevOps, and now AI. I strongly believe that staying at the forefront of emerging technologies is essential to remain relevant, curious, and effective. Recently, I have been actively self learning how to build AI agents and integrate AI tools into my day to day work to boost productivity and get things done more efficiently.
How's that going?
I think that's going good. I feel like, AI can make us smarter and it can make us lazier. So that's what, we are going to talk today.
Yeah, so before I go there though, so tell me about your experience with building the agents. Is it easy to do? Is it complicated? Is it like tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. So I thought of, learning how to build the like reinforcement learning agent. So I have experience with big data systems. So the problem I saw when I worked on big data, especially like Apache Spark, that you have to tune the configurations, and those configuration may not work for one specific workload, and they may work for another workload. So it's more like, oh, you have to play with the configuration a bit, and it's time consuming. So I thought, why not I build an RL agent around it. So reinforcement learning agent generally learns from the environment by doing that, trial and error. Like, if it takes an action and it gives you back the, good, better reward, it thinks that, okay, this is the happy path that I can go with. But if it give you the negative reward, that means RL agent will think, okay, this is not the good path that I should be taking moving forward. So yeah, that's, I thought maybe I should play a bit and, build that RL agent and see, how it can make the at least my life easier when I am, building my project, like projects for self-learning purpose. So what I did, wrote a code which is like an intelligent wrapper on Apache Spark. So it was more like, okay, I have this certain configuration, and will it be working on, it was looking. So what it was doing, there is a huge data set, right? It is like various rows and various columns. So what it will do is it will first learn about the data set, that does it have skewed data, how many rows it has. And based on the learning about the data set, it will know, okay, this is specific partitioning scheme that I can go with. So, and this agent is not trained like the machine learning algorithms. It is like it learns itself gradually by when it does all the experiments on various data sets. So that's how it learns and adapt as per the rewards it's getting. So it was a great learning experience, and I am submitting kind of research paper on one of the portals around it and hoping that it will get published soon.
Oh, I see. Well, that's exciting. So,
So, and even playing with it was so exciting.
yeah, well, that's good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, you started to talk about how AI, particularly LLMs, are making software engineers smarter or lazier. What's your perspective? Is it both or is it one or the other?
Yeah, so let's take a step back and make LLM understood to the audience. So LLM is a neural network that is designed to understand, generate, and respond to human-like text. So these all GPTs, Llama, Gemini, they are all LLMs, and they've been called large language model because they have been trained on huge data sets, and they have with hundreds of billions of parameters to optimize the output. So that's the LLM. So if we think in non-technical terms, it's the LLM is not looking into the internet, or it's not looking into the databases like traditional systems. It's like using math and probability to come up with the next word, or next output that it want to achieve. But if we think in terms of technical things, so it's more like you give a prompt to the LLM, right? And what it does, it breaks that prompt into the words, which it is called tokens. And then these tokens are converted into embeddings, and those embeddings will go through the various layers of neural network to, enhance the output that we, actually want to see, like enhance output plus, build the context that we want to see in the final output. So that's what the LLM is. And right now, I think everyone is using LLM in their day-to-day life, either, just to read anything new, or even like rephrasing certain sentences. So if we think in software engineering too, we are like using AI tools daily. So if I am a lazy engineer, what I will be doing with LLM, with this AI tool, is like I will be fully dependent on AI. For all the code that I wrote, that I write, I will not fully understand what AI is generating for me. I will not learn new technologies or stay on top of the things that I used to do before the LLM era. But if I am a smarter engineer, what I will be doing, I will be knowing what precise prompt I need to give. I'll be learning new technologies. I will be more like an orchestrator who would be like guiding, like instructing LLM what to do next, not the other way around. That LLM is telling me, shall I do this? Shall I do that? It won't be that way. And let me give you an example from my day to day life. Let's say I come to the office, I've been given a task that create a new feature in the existing product. And the feature is simple. Like if I'm working for e-commerce website, it is a simple like you need to share the listing on social media. So if I am a lazy engineer, I'll just give this prompt. Okay, I need to share the listing on social media. That will be my simple prompt. And what AI will do, AI will generate like 20, 30 files of code to build this feature on e-commerce website. And there would be some duplicate code. It won't, it will not have the context of your code repository, and it may not know that some of the things are already existing, and it can only like just add few lines of code to bring this feature into reality. So, and the thing with the AI is that maybe sometimes it produces that 20 files, and at the end it may not work. So, as a software engineer, you would be like holding your head, and you would be like banging your head on the wall that why it's not working, because that code is not written by you. It's been written by like AI, and now you have to debug those many files. I mean, start writing the code, it will take lesser time than you debug the code that is written by AI. But if you are a smarter engineer, what you will do, you will know ins and outs of the code repository, where you need to add the specific code, what code you need to add, what design pattern you need to use. So you will give the precise prompt. That prompt will be like, you need to add this code to this file with more context, so that AI is more productive rather than increasing your workload. So that's what smarter engineer would do. So yeah, I think, and also if you give precise prompt and you mention that what you need to do, it will AI will also produce like cleaner and like secure code, which is essential to ship the code to the production.
Okay, so basically, back to the original question, are LLMs making software engineers smarter or lazier? You're saying that it's all up to the engineer.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
they can take the smart approach or they can take the lazy approach.
That's right. That's my take on this. That it's on the engineer, like what they want the an outcome to be, whether they want to become the lazier or not they want to become a smarter one.
So then if that's the case, then how is AI shaping software engineering and productivity?
Yeah, so I definitely believe that AI is increasing the productivity. Like earlier, before LLM era or before AI tools, few tasks used to take like days to finish. Now, same tasks are taking like few hours. And I generally give some boring, redundant tasks to AI. And I just make sure that the code, or whatever the task AI has finished is correct. And it's it has produced the same output that I wanted or I would have produced before, before all these AI tools. So I also like to brainstorm the new ideas with AI. So I think AI has become my companion now, who with whom I can brainstorm things, even ask stupid questions that I would be embarrassed to ask any colleague or anyone. And so definitely it is helpful in day-to-day task. But to this, there are certain trade-offs too. Like earlier, even the things used to take hours or days to finish. Let's say if I want to come up with a new algorithm, right? I would take like few hours to think how would I approach the problem. I would look into various documentations and would see how other engineers approached it. And yeah, it definitely it would not have taken me a day to finish. It would have taken me days to finish. But at the end, there was a sense of pride and accomplishment. I would be at the end of the day when I've finished that task, or I would be proud of myself that, yeah, today I came up with this better algorithm. I did this performance optimization that reduced the time from 1 hour to few minutes. That brought a certain pride to me. But with I feel like slowly I'm leaning towards jump to AI, like we jump to AI to see what AI will answer, what it thinks. Instead of using my brain, I feel like I'm also trending towards becoming that lazy engineer who would jump to AI for everything. Like, AI, what do you think? Do you think this is the right solution? Or AI, do you think, shall I go with this approach? So that thing has I'll be honest with you, I'm not liking that I'm trending towards that side. And I will tell you that there was one case study from MIT too, where what they did, they took like 54 people and divided into them certain groups. There were like three groups. One group had to use their brain to write essays. Second group, they can use online materials, do internet search to write the same essay. And the third group was they have to use LLM for writing the same essay. So they did this experiment three times. They had to write three different essays using the materials they were provided respectively. And then for the fourth essay, they were told, let's switch it. Like the people who were using their brain, they now have to use LLM. And the people who were using LLM, they have to use their brain. And it was observed that people who made a switch from LLM to brain only, their neural activity was lower compared to people who switched from brain to LLM. So I can totally relate to it that, yeah, I'm also becoming dependent on AI to get answers quickly or to increase my productivity. But at the end, I think as an engineer, we should make sure that even if we are using these tools, we should be learning new technologies or seeing what are the best practices so that we are not blindly trusting AI, but we are also knowing what's the practices going in the market right now.
Yeah, can I understand. I was talking to someone recently and we were discussing that very subject because you can become dependent on the tools and forget about the stewardship and due diligence that you need to do. So we always want to keep that at the forefront and remind ourselves that those are the things that we need to do because if you don't, you'll fall into the trap of information, just accepting what it says And then before you know it, you're disseminating misinformation, right? So, because eventually that will happen because the tools are not 100% reliable and just the way that they learn. So, the way that they learn, it requires oversight. It just requires that type of oversight and due diligence. I'm in favor of using the tools. I'm in favor of seeing AI as even more than a tool, right? I'm very much in favor of that, of overseeing and governing your craft. So I hear you.
Yeah, that's right. Like we should still be building the foundation, right? Our concept should be right. And we should still be doing the due diligence of learning things instead of, just accepting whatever we are getting from these AI tools.
And the conversation I was having too was we were talking about how in the way that the tools are emerging, and we were saying like the brain, they're trying to make AI mimic the brain, which is almost impossible to do. But there's more and more research in that space. So it's not something that we can just ignore because we know that that research is going on. We don't know how soon that is. We know it's not tomorrow, but it's not in our best interest to just say, well, we'll deal with cross that bridge when it gets here. It's better to be in the know of what's going on and keeping in the know of what's going on. And the way that you're talking about using the tools is a way of keeping yourself in the know of what's going on. Same way with AGI and advanced AI concepts. Yes, it's conceptual, it seems like it's out there, but it's in our best interest to just not sit back and say, well, that's something someone else is doing. It's in our best interest to kind of know what's going on because while we may not feel like it's literally tomorrow, it's coming, it's happening fast, right? It's coming sooner than we think. And so it's best to pay attention so that you help shape the outcomes. So I'm glad to see that you use AI, right, as an assistant to help augment your work. And I'm also glad that you have guardrails that causes you to pause if you see that you are not taking some steps that need to be taken because your human judgment should never be set aside.
Yeah, that's right. And even these models are trained on the data, right? And that data may not be up to date. Let's say my new model comes in and that model have been trained until like the data of July 2025. So that LLM may not have information from August until like December or maybe January of next year. So yeah, so I think it's very important to fact check everything with official docs that whatever you are saying or whatever you are reading, that's accurate and up to date.
Now, some would say that the fact that you have to do all that defeats the purpose, right? Because now you just got to spend all this time double checking. You might as well have just done it yourself. But it's not quite that clear cut.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so that's the life of engineer right now, software engineer to be. Earlier, I was more like a programmer, like writing my code and my writing tests to check that code, then running that code locally, and then you're shipping it. Now I'm more like a reviewer, right? Like I'm just reviewing my code most of the time because that code is like written by AI. And I have to like be sure that, whatever it has written is correct and, and accurate and, it's safe, secure. And, it's the same code that I had written in the past. So that's, that's the life of an engineer has become right now. Yeah, like, talking in English with the AI agent and making sure that, whatever AI is writing is correct.
Yeah, yeah. Roles have evolved from individual contributor to a reviewer, governance, and oversight. Yeah, no, I
That's,
hear you. Yeah, and
yeah.
I've always said that that's what's going to happen, right? Because you can't just let it run free. This is good. So, all right. So then I do have a question about agents. So you have mentioned something about multi-agent AI systems. I want to help the listeners understand what is a multi-agent AI system, and can you give me some real-world examples?
Sure. So multi-agent system is where multiple AI agents will be working together to achieve a common goal. So let's take an example of vehicle multi-agent system. So think like there will be one agent to perceive the environment, the second agent would be like to map your vehicle location to the map, like the Google map. And the third agent would be okay, planning agent who would decide, do I need to take right? Do I need to take left? Do I need to like move forward or backward? And then there will be like the final action agent that will take the action that planner agent decided. So after perceiving all, environment around it, the vehicle will then, move right. Or, if it sees the object in front of it, the action would be like to stop. So there will be like multiple agent who would have like different responsibilities, but they have like common goal, like, what action to take next. So that's what the multi-agent system is. And I think that can be the future of AI, where multiple agents talking to each other, and there is one main master agent that's coordinating among coordinating different agents, and each agent telling to the master agent, okay, this is the action I'm going to take, and master agent telling the other agent, okay, they say you need to take this next action. So I think that will be the coordination between like among the different agents that can happen in future. And I think in software engineering too, I would say in day-to-day life, we may be using multi-agent, because so right now we have an IDE. IDE is where we write the code, and there we write the code, we compile it, we run it, and we see the outcome in our local environment. So that's very local to us. And I generally use a cursor. This is very popular AI like IDE. It has like embedded AI agent. So earlier, let's say if there was just one box where we used to write code, now you can think there are like two windows. One is to write code, and another window is like next to the code editor, where you have AI agent open. So in that AI agent, I can see like different options. So one would be like, so there are different roles of those agents. One would be like ask mode, where you will just ask the questions and it will do due diligence to get the right output for you. Then there will be like second would be like plan, where you tell the requirements to the agent and it will come with a very good plan that okay, so first step you need to do this, second step is like implement it, third step is this and that. And then there is debug mode too. I was saying like there is debug agent too. So debug agent will, debug your code, will look into like, what solutions you can do to fix this problem. And, then there is agent mode. So I think agent mode is to implement it. So what it does is it will just start writing the code, after all the planning it has done, it will, it will ask you that, are you agreeing with the plan? And then if you say yes, then, it will start implementing that whole, plan you both discussed, that I discussed with the agent, and it will start implementing it. So I can see that there are role based agents right now that you can leverage and in software engineering. And I think that's pretty helpful too, because if I just go with agent mode, even if I don't want it to write code, it will start implementing code. And oh my God, there will be like so many file change, and I will be like overwhelmed with those changes. But if I go with step by step, like I go with plan mode and then I go with the implementation mode, that's like better approach of solving or writing any new feature to my product.
Okay, so I wonder the implications of what you just described with like agile and the whole agile approach and all of that. I guess that's probably another conversation, but I'd be curious to see how, considering agile development, how that is evolving, right? So are we having shorter sprints? Are product increments coming sooner? I'm curious as to how that is impacted with the acceleration of AI. So, I mean, it just occurred to me as you were talking, and I'm literally thinking that, okay, so the sprints must be getting faster, but are they getting more reliable, right? So that's a question that I kind of want to check into, but tell me your thoughts there.
I agree. Like, the sprints are becoming shorter. Now you're able to achieve, you're
Mhm.
able to do multitasking. You're, the tasks that used to take like, a few days, 3 days, now they're finishing in one day, maybe. It depends, But with that, you have to take care that you are using AI tools, right, to generate code and also to review code. But you need to take care that the code you are generating it's not garbage. Like sometimes AI is generating garbage code. And to be honest, if I produce the garbage code, the next developer who would be seeing that code will be confused why I have written it, what's the purpose of writing it. So even you are like able to increase the productivity, but still you have to be sure that you are producing accurate results. Like even I ship the code, and if I don't know what that code is doing, and let's say if some incident happens in future, and I am the owner of that code, and people will reach out to me, they will ask me why this issue is happening, and I don't understand why this is happening. I won't be able to fix it, right? Like, and incidents are like where you have to take the actions quickly. Like if incident is happening, you need to resolve it within an hour because you are disrupting your service to the consumers. It's very important to make sure that whatever AI is writing, it's accurate and you understand it fully. You should not just be going after productivity or like finishing your task. You should be going productivity with accuracy.
That's a good point. That's a good. We make that mistake with Agile too. We get so caught up in hitting the sprints and getting the points. And I remember having these conversations. And so this would be no different. Like stay focused on quality and quality assurance. So I hear you. That makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah.
Sarah, where are we headed?
So I think we are heading more towards augmented intelligence and human AI collaboration. I don't think AI will automate everything as of today. I don't know about the future. The AI race is so fast that I don't know it will change in next 5 years. So I can, if I look like today, world, I don't see like it will remove humans from the loop. Like we still need humans to verify everything. So let me share one case with you, one case study like I was reading online. So there is a Replit company. They give you AI agents which can write code for you. And it was getting used by one company. And the owner was giving instructions that do not produce fake data in production database. But despite giving these instructions, AI was still, producing fake data in database. And the blunder that it made was, it deleted all the records from the database. So like that database had like actual, customer records and actual information of the customer that company gathered from past months. So and AI deleted that data, which was very important for the company. So and then when AI was told that you deleted the data, AI apologized, like a human being, that, oh, sorry, it was a misjudgment that I made, and I am very sorry about it. And that was very serious problem that AI created for that company. And then, AI was told, that you can roll back to the previous database version, which has like all the data. And it said, no, because I don't have like, I cannot do that. This was the final version that I deleted. So, but when engineers like software developers came, they were able to like revert to the the old database which has like all the records, so they were able to do it. But AI, like, at that point had given up that no, I cannot do anything at this point. So this is one case where the production access was given to the AI, and AI made like a big mistake of deleting database, producing fake data, not addressing the commands that the owner was giving. So I definitely believe, like, as of today, we cannot fully depend on AI. We still need humans who can verify all the outputs that AI is generating. And I think for now, yeah, we can consider AI as more like our companion to brainstorm ideas, to know certain things, like, but cannot like use it for full automation.
So that would be more like augmented intelligence.
Yep. And maybe human AI collaboration where human is giving command and AI is like following that command, and humans make sure that the command that AI is like running is accurate. Like they fully understand what AI is, trying to do.
Okay, so earlier you had mentioned that we talk about MCP. So I do want to talk about that. I want to know more about how MCP is influencing the way developers integrate AI.
So MCP is Model Context Protocol. So it's about to provide context to the model. So MCP has a client and it has a server, and so LLMs, they are like trained on certain data, right? So that may not be up to date. But with MCP, you can provide like up to date data to the LLMs, which you can like use to enhance their like output. So let's take an example. I have a document store where I have like lot of several documents, right? So what I can do is I can build an MC server in front of that document store. So then I can give access to the LLM that we can read documents from that store via MCP server. So when I ask certain question to the LLM that can you read that document and tell me about certain ABC thing, so LLM will know I can get the data via get API, like get document data. So then MCP server will run that API endpoint on behalf of LLM, and it will give all that information from that specific document to the LLM, which LLM will use to provide more context to you. And it can summarize everything for you that you wanted to know about that document. So MCP is about like providing more context to your LLM. So in our day-to-day life, I have MCP server for Atlassian. So there, what I do is I just tell MCP like LLM, can you read this document for me? So LLM will be like, okay, making, it knows that I need to, make this, get endpoint call, to get the data for certain document, and it will give me all the information that I needed. And then, I make, let's say I'm writing a design or architecture, then I have brainstormed most of the ideas with LLM. So LLM would be knowing that I want to go with approach A. Then I would say, can you create a document based on the conversations we did? And I would provide more precise from that. You need to add abstract, you need to add like architecture diagram, you need to add some more things. And then it will knows, what action to take. So it will make the call to that MCV server, like, using post endpoint, and then it will, write all the, brainstorming ideas or all the like thoughts that I have discussed with it on that document and will publish it. So at the end, I am not like, I'm not going to the website. I'm not clicking on create document. I'm not spending an hour or two on writing that document and then publishing it. It's all, like LLM is doing for me and making my life easier. Like at least I am not a big fan of writing big talks, and I'm very happy that I can use leverage LLM here to write all these talks. And similarly, whenever a pull request comes in, and let's say somebody wants their code to be reviewed on GitHub, I can leverage MCP here too. I with MCP and LLM, I can ask the LLM to read a PR like pull request or like code and ask them to address certain comments or write comments on my behalf. So few of the things they are like automated and they are like making my day-to-day life better. So that's what MCP is more like a context like provider, plus you can also take certain actions via MCP server.
All right, so that's good. That was a good explanation. So, can you share? We're at the end of the call, so I'm down to my last question, unless there's anything else that you wanted to share. Is there anything else?
No, not now.
Usually, what I do at this point is ask my guests if they can share words of wisdom and or a call to action.
Okay. So, word of wisdom, as we discussed in whole practicing what you are doing, like don't be fully dependent on AI and leverage it as your peer with whom you can like discuss your ideas, brainstorm certain things, or like summarize talk. Don't be fully dependent on it, or like you start losing your concepts or start losing all the learnings you had from your past experiences. So that's my advice to everyone around me, because I think as more and more as these AI technologies are evolving more and more, I feel like we might become more dependent on them, and we may start losing our learnings that we have gained from past experiences.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. What I found interesting with what you said today is you're speaking from an engineer and a coding perspective. So most of the people, most of my audience, they're not in the development space, but we're saying the same things, right? So I'm talking to them, I'm advising my listeners on some best practices, how to watch out for blind spots, what are some example blind spots, etc. And also and one of them being that it's very, very easy to get caught up into letting the AI do the work for you. And so that is not good. You're an executive of a company, the AI is off making decisions for you, and you are assuming that that is correct because you're assuming that the data is correct. You're assuming that the data is current. You're assuming that the data is accurate. And so you were saying all of that, but from an engineering perspective. And so that was fascinating to hear and good for the listeners to understand that this is applicable to all professions, right? For all users of AI, whether you're writing software and you're using it to develop software for you. I love the fact that you talked about you become a reviewer. Something that we've been saying for a while now is your role won't go away. It may just elevate you, right? You'll become the lead. You'll become the lead because someone's got to oversee this. So your role becomes elevated. And then it becomes, there's an added level of complexity to it because you have multiple agents. You'll have multiple agents that you're going to have to manage and govern in addition to humans. So you just became just that more valuable, right? Because you know how to do this. And so I try to get my colleagues and those that are fretting a little bit about their jobs and their careers, and like, here's how you can cultivate and prepare yourself for what's next because it's here. So, and watch the escalation and the elevation in roles and responsibilities. Now, it's not black and white. I understand that. It's not that clear cut. But ultimately, that's what's happening, and that's what you said. That is exactly what you said, is you became a reviewer. So I really sincerely appreciate the conversation today. It was very good.
Thank you, Pamela. I enjoyed our conversation and it was very nice talking to you. And yeah, I think AI will bring bright future for all of us and we will be just tech leads of everything.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being here.